Yo,
Yo, what's up, Bobby? How you doing, buddy?
what's up, boys?
Not much. Not much. Dom is muted as always. He's trying to figure it out.
I figured it out. Dude, it seems like everyone on my timeline here is talking about something, and it just constantly reminds me of Dupe. Obviously, we saw Google make this push to UCP, and you've been pretty vocal about how you guys dropped your app, and then all the big trillion-dollar corporations followed with similar stuff. Let's start at the top, man. Directionally, in terms of agent e-commerce, agent economy, LLM commerce, whatever you want to call it, like how have you seen that growing in the last couple months? Because it seems like it's just blowing up.
Yeah, I would say first, heavy caveat here. I'm pretty like heavily medicated because like I'm on a cocktail of oxy and ibuprofen right now. So I'm slower than usual.
This is a safe space, Bobby. Safe space, so you're good.
You like broke your back or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I walk with a cane.
Ooh, Bobby, you're too young.
Dude, what happened? Are you okay?
I'm like goddamn Bruce Wayne in Batman.
Oh my. This is after Met Dobby, right? You weren't.
Yeah. This was on like the 27th, right after Christmas. It was supposed to snow, but it rained and it was 20 degrees. And I was taking the trash out, slipped on my front door, brick step, and like smashed my ribs like right on the edge of the step. So I've had 3 pretty brutal weeks. I'm not gonna lie, boys, but I'm getting better. I just wanted to caveat that because if I'm slower than usual or I ramble, just stop me and say, "Hey, Bobby, your meds are getting in the way of your brain."
Has this affected business? This is like, it's like I said, peak time. Everyone's talking about Dupe and similar areas. Is this like affecting anything?
We have a whole team like working. I mean, I'm working too. So has it affected business? I mean, look, once you're hopped up on oxy, bro, like yeah, like you're. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. It just is what it is. All right. Like I need to get better, and then I'm Gucci. All right. To kind of go back to your question here. Yeah, this kind of follows. Like Google Ventures did this whole report on where e-com is going, and like really had Dupe as one of the standouts of what's coming. And Google's making this concerted effort right now on the AI front to an extent or degree that I think they've caught a lot of competitors snoozing. Everyone wrote Google off, and they've just been cooking ever since Sergey's like back at the company. They've been cooking for the last year and a half, and they, not just in e-com, but like across the board, have just launched back-to-back bangers. And one of the big bangers is this like UCP, this UCP protocol that they put out. And well, the video that you're showing right now is more because we're expanding partners from furniture to, I would say 2 different contexts. I wouldn't show that video for this segment. The UCP protocol. So you guys have to understand, like if I was to dumb this down, the internet was like built for human eyes. It was really not built for machines or robots. We've had to do like some fairly sophisticated stuff to get the data that we get at Dupe to show people deals and help them comparison shop. And we're not alone. Like this is, even Google would have had to do it. Like everyone has to do it. Like we have to go through this very complex web of fairly sophisticated bot detection systems on a almost like a per website basis. It's really like a miracle if you can even break through. And obviously like Dupe has done a killer job of that. It's one of our secret sauces, why the product works so well. What UCP does is it dumbs down the web for agents. It's no longer just for eyes. It's for robots, right? So like typically pop-ups kind of block the user journey. A lot of stores have logins before you can see prices. Most code is messy because it's written by humans. So the structurally, the code across websites is dirty. Like you really need to do a lot to get to the source of truth of like what is the price of something, what is the availability of something, what are the variants of a certain product that a user can buy. And so we did a lot of work on that over the last couple of years. And this UCP setup now kind of unlocks a huge opportunity, because where Dupe is moving, it's going from just this like deal sourcing. Deal sourcing was a wedge. We're going into a phase of the product where I think the web like desperately needs it in ecom, which is decision intelligence upstream of the purchase, right? So typically, unless like the older versions of Dupe, where you kind of had to know what you wanted to buy, bring that to Dupe, and then we help you source that for less. In this next variation or next version of Dupe, you don't even really need to know what to buy. And we're launching like an army of agents here that is going to be first to market, totally breakthrough. We've been building it for the last few months. We've been using it through the holidays. I've personally bought a lot of stuff because it does such a good job. It's like the best way to explain it is like, do you guys, I don't know if you have like that friend that's like just annoyingly knows a lot about a thing. And then they like sit you down and they're just like, no, Dom.
I am that friend.
You're that friend. Okay, you're the neckbeard on Reddit. It's like they sit you down and there's like Josh or Dom, like, yo, all right, like you're buying, whatever, loafers or home slippers or a car or like an air vac or like a stove. It's like, dude, like there's like hundreds of things you need to think about. All right, like here's all the shit that you need to consider, and you're just like, you're listening to them and they're nerding out and you can see that they're stoked. And by the time they get to the end and why they're telling you that there's only 2 products on earth that you should consider, and it's this based on your needs, and you're just like, I'm sold.
Yeah, right.
Say less. Like, I don't need you to say another word. Like, I am buying. And that is what it now, like, agents in Dupe have gotten to that point. And I'm just like, man, every single thing that I want to buy now, I can't live without these agents. And like, you watch them spin up and you watch them go out and do research, and they're downloading YouTube videos, reading scripts, they're down Reddit rabbit holes, they're doing hundreds of hours of research for you. And UCP simplifies all of this because it's bringing a standard data set back to these agents to help them make sense of what's available out there, right? Product descriptions, product metadata, variants, pricing, price changes, deals, like all that stuff is now getting standardized. And what this means is our confidence level of what we show users is going to go through the roof, and the buyer intent is going to go through the roof. And it really allows us to act as this decision intelligence layer before the purchase, where purchases will feel more imbued with confidence, lowering return rates, getting people more excited to buy, spending money, knowing that they're spending it on the right thing. There's a lot of tension before you buy anything online because you don't get to touch and feel the object, right? There's always like this tension of like, is this the right thing? I need to do a little bit more research, da, 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 da. And where we're taking the product now is just, it eradicates that. It is totally being unlocked by stuff like UCP, stuff like Claude orchestration. There's just a lot going on there that I'm pretty thrilled about.
So I have my credit card in Dupe. Can I now just say, this is what I want, and the agent will go through the entire process for me? Is that
yes?
What?
Yes, you'll be able to do that. And we'll still earn our take rate. The other thing too that's like very interesting is like, we made all this money at Dupe, and even that is the breakage is very high, because once you go, I don't know if you guys have been seeing these videos about honey on YouTube, where this guy is like, oh my God, dude, like, do you guys know what honey is?
Mm-hmm.
The coupon app?
Yeah,
man, like them, like apps like that, they steal attribution, because Dupe would do the hard work in the past where like we would find you the right deal, we'd find you the right product, the user would click, and then right at checkout, honey pops in, and it's like, let's see if there's any coupons available.
They get the last mile attribution.
And these motherfuckers, sorry for the language, even if they don't find you a goddamn coupon, they steal the attribution, and it basically robs companies of 20, 30, 40% of their revenue.
So here's
via-
how I understand it. It's whoever gets like the last click gets credit basically for selling that customer. And so Honey will come in, look for all these coupons, not actually find any coupons, but because you attempted to look for coupons with them,
that's
even
it.
if you found nothing, they get paid.
That's it. And that is like morally wrong. That is
Yeah.
and they made hundreds of millions of dollars doing that. And you
Wow.
know, and now that all that stuff is being brought to light and a lot of changes are happening. But UCP bypasses all that, right? Because what's so interesting about UCP, it's not just standardizing the data. It is helping negotiate deals. So you can actually look at a persona type of a user. We can inform that persona type using UCP, and Google will be able to negotiate prices down based on, is this a loyal customer? Do they visit your site often? Have they bought from you before? They deserve something for that. Like this like $300 tchotchke, let's give them $50 off. Right? You can really drop the price through this agent, through this protocol directly with the brands, and brands are opting into it. And you don't need coupons to do it, and it doesn't rob companies like Dupe of attribution, and it allows us to give users a totally seamless buying experience. So I'm just like over the moon about it, because this just unlocks, it's, first of all, it's like it's taking away a lot of work that we've been working on, you know, like, because we've been working on this like last mile checkout, interfacing with merchants. It's a very, very hard problem. Standardizing it from like the number one, you know, search player on earth, standardizing it, and with that trust baked in, where they're bringing on the major the major retailers like Walmart, you know, just joined, and I think Amazon might join. Who the hell knows what Amazon does? They do their own thing, but they're all joining this protocol. We basically get access to that out the gate, and we get to monetize with all of these brands out the gate with like the most seamless possible infra. And yeah, like we're pretty thrilled. Yeah, exactly. Etsy, Wayfair, Target. I mean, Jesus, come on. Like this is like together, it's like multi-trillion dollars in value of sales right here. So yeah.
This is really, I got a like more advertising e-commerce question here. I'm a big Shopify fan just because it was developed in the city that I grew up in, but is like, so when you talk about last mile attribution, so the UCP is solved for that, as well as the discovery process. It's also standardized all the data points. So if I'm a robot, I look at a web page, I know the data I'm getting back. It's in a standard format. It's not like it's all those things kind of combined, is if we were to wrap it up, it solved all these problems in one.
Yeah. So like UCP is not going to help with the intent. That's where Dupe excels, right? So it's like that upstream decision layer. What it helps with is all the messy middle.
Okay.
Right. Of like getting the right products. Like our agents can now look at that data in a standardized format, make sense of it, know what's available, know the pricing, know the variants, have the metadata, know the dimension, sizing, fabrics, like all that stuff, which we've had to unlock over the last couple of years. This is going to do it in a cleaner way, opted in from the largest e-com brands on earth. And then we can make sense of it all. We can synthesize it and give the highest confidence to the customer to know, to help them understand what their buying options are, but B, like what to actually buy based on our recommendation of their needs and their personalization, stuff that we have access to. And then they just click a button and say, yeah, I want it. And then it helps us do the checkout as well. This is very different from X402. Like we should not be talking about these in the same breath, right? Like X402 is not really for traditional e-com. It's not for TradFi. It's not for fiat. It's for buying what I would say is like digital services, agent to agent, getting access to APIs, stuff like that. Right? Like UCP is not doing stablecoin settlements. It's not doing. It's doing like normal fiat settlements. You're still paying the 2 to 3% fee. Like you're doing all that stuff, but it's doing it so seamlessly that the net effect is merchants are going to get higher conversion rates on behalf of their customers, and they still get to be the merchant of record. They still get all the data stuff that they care about, but then players like us can come in and just like really ramp up the sales because our data is going to be so much cleaner and the user experience is going to be so much more seamless. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
I would also like to just pick your brain a little bit on this. Is this something you like foresaw for the last couple months here? Like when did you say, I saw this coming. We're positioning for it now.
Yeah, like July. You know what's so interesting is like no one on earth has lived through an internet cycle. Like it almost doesn't make sense to plan more than 3 months out anymore. Does that make sense?
We're moving so fast, especially
I
with
mean,
AI.
just to give you a sense, like this UCP was on our roadmap for Dupe to build with merchants back in September. We started building it in November. In January, Google launched an open version, which is going to be significantly more powerful. It's going to, get better faster. So like, we're living at like in an unprecedented time for a product manager or a CEO or like a technical team to plan. So the best you can do now is like really just anticipate and do almost like a gut check on, does it make sense for an infra player like Google or Stripe or, Shopify to launch this in like the next month or two? It's like, yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So let's plan for that inevitability. So now you're living in this like life cycle of inevitabilities happening every 3 months. And then you're just building the product that would latch onto that and use that as a harness to help whatever the USP, the unique selling proposition of your product is, to amplify that on the right, like at the right time, which is essentially what we did with UCP. It's essentially what we did with agents. 6 months ago, you wouldn't have been able to build the stuff that we're about to launch with Dupe. Like it just wasn't possible. So given how fast that's moving, I think the survival rate of companies that over plan is going to go down. I think a lot of companies are going to die because they're going to either over plan or overbuild upfront without having that bone in their body that anticipates where the puck is moving to. And yeah, like I would just urge like any builder listening to this to think about, does it make sense to have like an annual roadmap anymore? I just don't think so.
Probably not.
Can we ask you, in your mind, where is the puck moving towards? Like what do you foresee in the next 3 months then?
Well, so obviously UCP was just announced. I think the adoption of this in the next 3 months is going to explode. I think agents are at the very bottom of the S curve. I think we're going to go into an agent super cycle starting this year. We started positioning for agents 4 months ago. We've been working on it. And look, it's not like agents are 4 months old. Agents are like a year old at least, but it was used for very specific things. We saw the obvious, like, agents are going to they're going to eat. It's like software is eating the world. Like agents are eating software. There's this famous Mark Andreessen, software is eating the world. That was their entire thesis. Agents are now going to eat software or will become software. So if you're thinking about that and you assume that there is a S curve and we're at the bottom of it and we're about to enter a super cycle for agents, then really like the biggest question is, what value are you going to deliver to users? So for us, it's like buyer confidence. I think there's going to be nothing on earth that makes people more confident in buying something than when they come to Dupe and use our product. And so for us, it's now just asking the question, okay, cool. Like agents have certain skills today. What skills can we imbue in them tomorrow? And let's build that. That's what we should focus on. We don't need to invent agent infrastructure. We don't need to invent UCP. We don't need to invent these like hard infra problems. We need to leverage them, and then we need to have a distribution model that outperforms like pretty much any other competitor in the market. We have like a couple of competitors. Like we have one that raised $50 million seed a year and a half ago.
Oh my gosh.
$50 million seed. All right. And all ex-Google people, they haven't launched anything. So I'm just like, I'm thinking, if I'm the CEO of that company, I'm freaking the fuck out. They've got a fancy office. They've got 75 employees. They've probably burned $15 million. They probably have
at minimum
$15 million out the gate. They have like 5,000 users. They have nothing.
What do you think they raised at? Like 250 to 500 million?
It has to be like, yeah, like you have to imagine it was like 250 to 300 million is what they raised at, right? And the reason they were able to raise that is because the founder is a star. Like she sold her last company, I think, to Pinterest. She's a star, but like, man, it's so clearly a bunch of folks LARPing as startup people. Like it's a bunch of ex-Google people that have never worked at a startup, and they're just, and you just look at that and you say, man, how do you survive in this new world? Yeah, by the way, hard stop in like 10 minutes. So I know I saw the chat here.
Dom,
Okay.
can I sneak a quick question
Yes,
in?
please.
I just want to summarize where Dupe fits within this ecosystem. So the people mentioned here, Shopify, Etsy, Wayfair, they're the infrastructure builders of this. Dupe is the kind of customer, maybe making it
No.
for the
Let me
customer.
just cut through
Yes.
the chase. So no, so Wayfair is not the infrastructure. Target's not the infrastructure. Google is the infrastructure.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Wayfair is the merchant and
Yep.
will be the merchant of record. So is Target. So is, you know, all the Shopify stores, Walmart, etc. Dupe is the decision intelligence. Google doesn't know what the customer wants. Google knows what products exist. The customer doesn't know what the customer wants.
Yeah.
These people come to Dupe to get a sense of what to want. So Dupe becomes this discovery engine, like super discovery engine. And it uses Google's, this open infra that Google's launching, this open protocol, to make sense of what exists out there so that we can serve the customer's need and synthesize all that information. But doing it in a way where it's not just looking at product data, it is looking at going down Reddit rabbit holes, going down YouTube, TikTok, downloading those videos, reading it, watching it, making sense of it, and then giving like the most confident answer to these shoppers to help them make the best purchase.
Let's speed run. I got a couple questions. So when we hear about the 50 million seed raise that we just heard about here, are you getting a lot of inbound right now? You guys are kind of positioned in this space. You're one of the fastest horses in the race here. Is there like a lot of inbound for acquisition, for working with you? Like, curious.
I think so on the acquisition front, last year is when we got the inbound for acquisition. I think we're beyond that at this point. Like, people know that we're playing the long game here. You always want to like acquire the companies where you feel like, oh, they have something really interesting, but these founders maybe they'd be open to selling. I think at this point we've kind of shown that we are very committed. We've turned down at least 2 major acquisitions. Like I don't see a world in which Dupe exists in a large company and runs as fast as Dupe does. It's just like, it does not exist. Our moat is honestly at this point is like, Ramin and I, my co-founder and I, we were last night talking to a company that we're looking to acquire, and Ramin and I were just like looking at each other like, man, like no one iterates like Dupe. Like, name a fucking company in e-commerce. Like, how do these large players move? Like, because you know, they do these annual plans, and by the time they execute their plan, and it takes them longer to figure out which team to assign to the plan than it takes for Dupe to
do
launch
the thing. Yeah.
to do the thing. This is what happened with our app. It's like right after we launched our app, Alibaba is like, we're pivoting, we're launching this new modal, this new module of how, you know, how people are shopping. Shopify launched something. It's like everyone kind of follows, and so we get to be on the bleeding edge because of how fast we move, and that's ultimately our moat, and it's impossible to do that with an acquisition. We're gonna go raise pretty soon. There's a couple of benchmarks and milestones. I don't believe in raising for the sake of it. I don't need to. We have so much runway. We have over like 45 months of runway. That's too much runway, honestly. And so like we make money, so it's not like we're like burning every last dollar that we have. But this next version of Dupe will require significant infra investment. And that is a good reason to raise. We think we'll be able to grow 4 or 5 times faster. That is a good reason to raise. Right. And so, yeah, like and in terms of size and stuff, you're right. Like, we are 10 times bigger than the next competitor, 10 times at least. And this $50 million person that raised the seed, we're like 45, 50 times bigger. So shit's let's just say it's Dupe's year, baby.
Love that. And is quality of capital more important than quantity of capital raised?
Always. I've already made, guys, I was at WeWork. We did the quantity. I was at Candid. I launched Candid. We raised $250 million there. We did a lot of quantity. I could tell you by far, quality is it. Quality is it. Take your time and raise from the right people to the extent that you can. Obviously, if you need to raise to survive, raise from fucking anyone, you know, obviously that goes without saying. But if you're the jockey that people want to bet on, take your time and find the right people.
Alpha. Also, if I remember correctly, you guys were just popping 100 million in GMV, you know, in Q3 or Q4 of last year. Are you guys at 200 million now? Is that what am I reading this correctly?
We're at 200 million. We're working very hard to grow that.
Okay, because that happened quick. How was your December?
It was great.
Best shopping year of the month. Best
Yes.
shopping month of the year.
Yeah. Actually, I would say November and December kind of shared because Black Friday and Cyber Monday were cusping. Like one was in one day and the other was in the other month, you know, so it was like a cusping weekend.
Fair.
But yeah, like we had a great Q4.
I was reading here, we're expanding our partner base. Can you give us an idea of what that means?
Yeah, so because we focus so heavily on furniture, and again, I can't emphasize this enough, niching down if you're launching your company, your startup, and picking almost like a confounding vertical, like why furniture? Why are you guys focused on it? It helped us break through in a category that was very high pressure for buyers. But now we're going after fashion and beauty and accessories and electronics and like all these other verticals. We need to ramp up our partnerships. You know, I have a team in Vegas right now at one of the largest conferences of the year, signing partners. So like we just have, and this is why we made this video, by the way, it was specifically for that event. And yeah, we're getting a lot of inbound, like brands want to participate. They want to wet their beak with our users. They want us to send them customers. You know, brands are spending a lot on, you know, Google AdWords, and that stuff's expensive, man. Like cost per click on Google AdWords could be $4, $5, $6, $7. We're like far less than that.
And you're getting that ad spend from them. How does those deals look?
Well, no, we do it on a performance basis. This is what they love. We are confident that we can drive a sale. So we'll say, we'll take a percentage of your sale. You know, like if we don't drive a sale, you got a free click. And by the way, that's going to change in the future. Trust me. But you want to get to tens of millions of MAU. You know, you want to grow to that level. That's where you can really demand the $3, $4 per click. And that adds like 2 zeros to our revenue, like out the gate. But it's basically like these things follow each other. You don't start that way out the gate. You first build your brand, you show brands how much you lean into them as a partner, how much you can drive for them in sales. And then over time you build your leverage because your user base grows, your product gets better, and your sales over time grow with the brand. So you have to kind of stutter step. And so we're also at the very bottom of the S curve of Dupe. So it's still early days.
I saw a great tweet that you actually comment on too, where it showed the number of year-on-year online shopping increasing significantly. How are you seeing shopping increase online, and how are you seeing quarter-on-quarter growth for Dupe?
To be clear, it's agentic shopping. That was the tweet. I think you had messaged me on that tweet. Yeah, agentic. I mean, we are in a super cycle for agents. Agentic shopping hasn't even started, guys. UCP launched 2 days ago. You know, like, you know, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up this year. I think agent shopping is gonna be 500% growth year over year. Like it's gonna be huge.
What about quarterly growth for Dupe, or maybe year over year growth from last Cyber Monday and Black Friday for Dupe?
We should be able to 5x our Q4 this year compared to last year. Q2 at least a 1 to 2x, I would imagine, from last year. Because remember, we are now going after more categories, so there's more opportunities to get people to buy from us. These categories have higher frequency of purchases, so that lubricates the machine to get people to buy from us more often, right? Because you're not decorating your home 3 times a year or 5 times a year or whatever, but you're buying clothes and perfumes and stuff all year through. The AOVs are lower, but the frequency makes up for it. So that's kind of the calculus. We have to go through that cycle to see what happens. And we still have to sign a lot of partners. Like there's a massive long tail there that we need to sign. So.
Well, it was really interesting that you said, you know, niche down when you're starting a business. You guys started in furniture, and now you're expanding that. I was listening to Peter Thiel earlier, and like that was his exact advice. If you're starting a business, you have to niche down and then expand. So it seems like you're following that exact.
Yeah, like go after a market. I think his specific thing was go after a market that feels so stupidly small that you can own it and no one will believe it's worth it. And that's how you build a monopoly. Now, obviously furniture is not a small category. It's like a $600 billion a year category. Either way, in e-com, it's only 10% of e-com. So as a function of e-com, it's fairly small.
Banger. I see this tweet from Dupe. You're going to love Dupe's next trick with the Dupe ticker. Any alpha?
That's our agents. It's going to be awesome.
All right. When you say that's your agents, that's basically just meaning the entire conversation we just had.
All the stuff we just talked about. Yep.
Bobby, sounds exciting to me. It sounds like Dupe is
10-second believe take.
Oh yeah.
Dude. I need Ben to crush it. All right. This ain't it. I'll just say that. It ain't it. Like, why can't I bet on myself? I don't want to bet on Ben or Nikita or, you know, George Bush or fucking Selena Gomez or Taylor Swift. I don't give a fuck about people who are not named Bobby Ghoshal to bet on. I bet on one person. Like, I'm the jockey I bet on, you know. Let me fucking bet that market. Where's that? Like, you know, so I don't know. Prediction markets right now, it's just boring. Prediction markets also going to enter a super cycle for infra companies. I don't think apps that are like doing prediction wrappers stand a chance. And whatever. Like, I think what we've seen in the last 24 hours since Believe launched this product is clearly people are just bored of it. This is a 2024, and he launched this in 2024. That was the right time to launch the first version of it. Man, he had the golden goose in his hand. It's still upsetting to me that he fumbled the ball so fucking hard with Believe, and this ain't it. This ain't it.
It doesn't even make sense to me. There's no settlements. There's no. I was saying earlier, it's like if Ben Pasternak here goes and becomes the president of the United States, walks on the moon, wins the lottery, like then what? His thing goes up to 80% belief, and then eventually
exactly. Yeah, like, there's no movement. Fine. I would even buy the argument of infinite markets. That's kind of what he wants, like a never-ending infinite market. Okay, fine. If you believe that a believer base is going to go up over time, you know, more people will buy one side versus the other. All that's fine. It's just reeks of Kalshi and poly market. Like, I think if you want to play in prediction markets, doing infra so that broadcasters can be part, like that's just one example. Like build infra so broadcasters can launch their own prediction markets. Like, why not do that? I mean, poly market was part of the Golden Globes this year. Holy shit, that's fucking cool.
That was sick,
right? Yeah, that was sick. So like that's where I think PMX might stand a chance. I don't know. Like, I don't know what those guys are doing. Like, they're so quiet. You know, they haven't really launched anything. I really want them to. I mean, selfishly, just full disclosure, I hold a fucking bag, like a pretty big one there. Like, that's just been totally raked. It's fine. It's par for the course. It's playing the game. It would be nice to hear what's under the hood and what's cooking. You know, like it'd be nice.
We got Kitty in here. Hey, Kitty, go crack the whip.
Come on, Kitty, crack the whip.
Yeah, crack the whip. I mean, the thing is, they're so technically capable. Like, they're very gifted founders. It's just like, you know, you can't be quiet for that long. I understand, like a month, fine, like a month and a half. All right, you're cooking, but you gotta say something. You gotta show us a little bit under the hood.
Valid. All right, Bobby, we'll leave you. Maybe Daddy Duster. We'll cover Daddy Duster because he's a good friend of the show here. Is Dupe considering using the insight/data gain from their users as revenue source for companies that sell products? Value add to product companies to have a more granular understanding of consumer behavior/decision making.
So yeah, we don't sell the consumer data to the companies. We synthesize what the consumer wants using their data, what we know, the type of buyer that they are, and then we bring the right users to companies. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. You're not interested in selling the data to companies that may want information. No. All right. No. We'll end it there. Bobby, good luck on your next meeting, brother. Hope you feel better.
Thanks so much.
Better.